Hi, my name is Antonio Silaros, and this is my audience. Think about how much time you spend on your phone every day. The average teen is on screen for 7 hours. Most of it just scrolling. That's not a small number. That's basically a full workday every single day. And I know this hits close to home because almost everyone in this room has Instagram, TikTok, or Snapchat on their phone right now. These apps literally shape how we talk to each other, how we feel about ourselves, and how we judge our lives compared to other people's. So it matters that we actually know what it's doing to us mentally, not just on the surface, but over time. I've been using social media for years and I've looked into how it specifically affects people's our age. So I actually care about this topic and I think you will too. Here's my main point. If we understand how social media is affecting our mental health, we can actually do something about it and use it in a way that doesn't mess with us. I'm going to walk you through three things: how it messes with the way we see ourselves, how too much of it ruins our sleep and mood, and how it can actually be good for us if we are smart about it. So, the first thing I want to talk about is how social media completely wraps the way we compare ourselves to other people. Here's the thing: nobody on social media is showing you their real life. Every photo is filtered, every caption is thought out, every post is basically the best possible version of that moment. Nobody posts their bad days or their failures. People are looking for perfect and doing amazing things. Your brain starts comparing your behind the scenes to everyone else's highlight reel, and that's never a fair comparison. There's actually research that backs this up. Jean Twenge, who is psychology professor at San Diego State University, and wrote in 2017 book called iGen, old a deep study on the generation and found that the more time teens spend on social media, the more likely they are to feel lonely and have low self-esteem. She says it's basically constantly seeing other people's lives making you feel like you're like not attractive enough, not successful enough, not interesting enough. And that starts to stick. So we just covered how comparison messes with the way we've seen ourselves. But that's another big problem. And that's how much time we're separating on these apps every day and what it's doing to our bodies and mood. My second point is about what happens when we use social media too much and specifically how it wrecks our mood, our focus, and our sleep. Most of us are checking our phones constantly throughout the day without even thinking about it. Every notification, every new post, every message is designed to pull you back in. And all of that back and forth situation is genuinely making it harder to focus on anything that actually matters. You sit down to do your homework, and 10 minutes later, you're on TikTok. That's not a coincidence. Like these apps are literally built to do that. And then there's the sleep problem. In 2023, the American Psychological Association, which is one of the biggest and most respected mental health organizations in the country, put out an official health advisory saying that heavy social media use in teens is directly connected to anxiety and sleep disruption. When you're up late scrolling or answered messages, you're stealing from your sleep. And when your sleep is off, your mood is off too. Your focus is gone, and your whole next day pays for it, basically. Not even with all of that, I'm not here to tell you social media is all bad because it genuinely isn't, as long as you're using it the right way. My third point is that social media can actually be really good for you, for your mental health, but only when you're intentional about how you use it. For a lot of teens, especially the ones who feel like they don't quite fit enough at school or at home, online communities can be, a lifeline. And you can find people who actually get what you're going through, who share your interests, who make you feel like you're at home or like you're not alone. That's the kind of connection genuinely matters. A 2022 systematic review by Xiao Zhu, a researcher from the Department of Social Work at the Chinese University of Hong Kong, published in the Journal of the Adolescents, found that teens who engage with supportive online communities actually feel more understood and less isolated when they're dealing with hard stuff. The key word is supportive. The research is clear that this only works when you're in spaces. that actually build you up, not spaces that drag you back into the comparison trap we talked about in point one. So it brings it all together. We looked at how comparison on social media messes with self-image, how too much use is hurting our sleep and mood, and how when we actually choose to use it with intention, it can genuinely support our mental health. The bottom line is this: once you actually understand what social media is doing to your emotions and your habits, you stop being a passenger and you start being in control of how it affects your life. Social media isn't going away, it's only going to get bigger. But at the end of the day, the only real question is whether whether you're in the one deciding how you use it or whether you're letting it decide you. Thank you.